It's a huge relief. It's been a very difficult sort of 14 months for the hospitality and travel sector, not just on the Isle of Man but globally. So having some firm dates now in the diary, in the exit framework which has been produced for us, which I think will work very well. It's a great relief, and although obviously going to level 3 is not going to be a dramatic change for us, and I don't think perhaps for the island, but as we head towards level 2 perhaps, which is at the end of May, that could be a game changer.
So at this point, have you seen much interest in bookings?
We've been very busy. It's quite interesting. The travel agency, we have to look after our existing clients. So we are now deferring holidays for perhaps a third time through the last 14 months. But we are getting increasingly busy with inquiries and bookings for particularly 2022. And what's quite interesting is the cruising market, which I thought would really struggle to come back, is actually coming back very, very strongly. And it's perhaps the strongest part of the sector at the moment. So we're taking lots of bookings across our 3 offices in Jersey, Guernsey and the Isle of Man for cruising, which has surprised us.
Well, you mentioned your offices in Jersey and Guernsey there. I think they're a little bit ahead of us in terms of how they've relaxed their borders. Did you see an immediate spike in interest there, or was it a gradual uptick of people wanting to travel again?
It is very much a gradual situation, and I wouldn't say that we're seeing a massive return to volume inquiries or bookings at this moment in time. People are very cautious, and I think we've had lots of dates given to us over a long period of time, and people have just got fed up with that cancellation, refunds and all the various bits and pieces. So they're just being cautious. They're just waiting to see what happens over the next month. I think another month will see us through the whole situation, and if we get to the 28th of June where there is no self-isolation and no quarantine requirements and no testing, then really it's open borders, and I think people will from there start to gain confidence in travelling.
How big a difference does the quarantine and the testing situation make? Because we know that tests are going to be cheaper from now, and that some of the isolation periods are shorter. Does that make a real difference?
I don't think it does, to be honest. I think it does for a certain sector, perhaps the retired person who is not worried about the self-isolation quarantine on return. If you're a business traveller and you want to go away for a few days to London, there's no way it's viable to have to come back and self-isolate again. So I think we'll see an uplift in people travelling over the next month, but I think it's from then on that we'll start to see people getting the confidence, and with border restrictions easing, we'll start to see more people travelling in general, I think.
How much easier does it make your job when you have these dates in writing? We know they are a bit flexible, but you have a firm target.
It's very, very important because for us, and particularly for the ferry companies, but more for the airlines, moving into a recovery period is quite a dangerous time for them, difficult time for them, because first of all they've got to spend cash, and cash is something that they haven't got at the moment. They've got to re-employ pilots, they've got to bring in cabin crew, they've got to service and maintain aircraft and get them ready to fly again, and that's all going to take a lot of cash and quite a bit of time. So for them, having dates in the diary that they can work to is very, very important.
And what about travel to Northern Ireland and to the Republic of Ireland as well? We've had a few queries about this recently, that there haven't been links over that side for a little while. Is that something that there is a demand for?
Well, I think there's no clear aviation policy on the Isle of Man, full stop. We are operating in an open sky situation, and we are all very much aware of the weakness of the key players in the UK airline sector. So links into Belfast, we have got Loganair operating into Belfast City Airport, and we have got EasyJet operating into international. So I think Northern Ireland will be well catered for at some stage in the future. Ireland itself into Dublin, we did have obviously Loganair operating on behalf of Aer Lingus. So we're very hopeful that will return, and we'll have a good service back into Dublin.